Okay. Just have your feet flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart, shoulders aligned with the hips. I promised Judith I'd talk a little slower so she can keep up. And imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light. And it stretches from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So just imagine you're lengthening your spine. And then go to the crown of the head and, just relax your scalp and your face, and the back of the head, the neck, the throat, the shoulders, the chest and the belly, and all of your limbs. So just relax the body. Then notice your breath sensations that as you inhale and exhale. Be aware of any sounds in your environment. So trying not to run off and investigate, just allowing the sounds to be there. So then, particularly if there's sounds that might be a little bit sudden, like a door banging or doorbell ringing or phone going off, just maybe watch how your mind responds to that. Then just draw some attention to the thoughts and feelings, to your mind, and just allow the thoughts to bubble up, to abide, and then to dissipate. So trying not to follow our own documentary that we tend to create in our mind. Sometimes there's aspects of that documentary that are not accurate, particularly when we start projecting off into the future. So be curious about what's in your mind. Be curious about your own future predictions, your own future anxieties and worries about what's going to happen in the future that may not. And be objective. Be objective about what you see, what you experience, what you feel. And then bring to mind these people of our life. So some people are so precious to us. And their presence in your life can change in an instant. You know, that friend you like meant to catch up with. And all of a sudden you find they've got cancer and you may not see them again if they're very far away. And there's people that we, would be grateful never to see again. And then there's our strangers. And as I said, these relationships can shift and change. And they're all equal, these people. They're all just like you and me in their wish to be happy, their wish to be free from suffering, and having this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So I think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. I don't know if Ginny's here. Ginny is Judith's friend. She's got some health issues right now, and she said she felt a little bit shy to say anything, but we'll just mention her name here. Ginny lives in the same facility Judith does. So we imagine there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification practice is basically a psychological one, this process of purification. And, as Lama Yeshe says, we create negativity with our mind so we can change it by creating positivity instead. So we start with this power of regret. And so sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason we're regretting is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So it would make sense that we purify these negative seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. Because anything can happen at any time. And, we pull these seeds out. It means we don't have to experience that negative karma. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance, and we turn to the Buddha, Vajrasattva, who we see as a doctor. And he's got these methods that we can use to purify. He has this medicine. So we're not necessarily looking for the Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon these methods, and just consider that as medicine. And when you're kind of doing these practices, think of it more of like a positive experience, like not like, oh, coming from this point of view of fear or anxiety or I've done something wrong. But it's kind of like more a positive experience. You can take on the energy of this particular, Buddha, Vajrasattva, and purify yourself. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and he's also your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And of course, he has this beautiful, radiant face with, lotus-shaped eyes. And, he has this beautiful face that's full of love and compassion for you and all the people of your life equally. And he has a sweet red mouth, and his hair is tied up in a top knot, his black hair. His arms are crossed at his heart, with the left underneath the right. The left's holding a bell, and this represents wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents enlightenment, development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. Then we do have a little section here on compassion. And in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently, in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think about those who have harmed you, and particularly have a wish for them to be free of all suffering. That's developing compassion, because the harm they've caused you is going to manifest for them sometime in the future as suffering. So we start with the body. Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it kind of arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you and forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Drida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me, sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya, vajrasattva dinapatita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me, sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya, vajrasattva dinapatita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm, any harm you've done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with this body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the kind of useless speech and inappropriate speech, lying and talking about people behind their backs, and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Ambhajra Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Ambhajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Ambhajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Rida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Ambhajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Ambhajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of our mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine you walk into a room and it's pitch black, and you flick on the switch, and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness in the room. So the same thing here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, your, attachment, neediness, anxiety, depression, bitterness, grudges, jealousy, disappointments, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause for why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. And then think now there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And imagine that Vajrasattva sends the light and the nectar again, except this time simultaneously. So the nectar pushing all the negativity of the body out in a downward direction, the nectar pushing all the negativity of the speech up in an upward direction, and then the light kind of blasting all the delusions of the mind. And so this way, we've completely eradicated even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mempi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and the fourth and final step in the purification process, and a really crucial one, is this determination to sort of really want to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. So without making a decision like this, nothing's really going to change. So we just have to decide. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to practice. Then it just becomes like guardrails for your mind, your body, your speech. So rejoice in your efforts coming along. For some of you, it's very late. And so I really appreciate that effort. The end of the day, of a busy day, is not an easy time to log into Zoom. And then also probably there's some of you, it's the middle of your workday if you're in Australia. So rejoice in your efforts, and then think of something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. And just keep that in mind. Check in with yourself maybe a few times during the day, maybe between now and tomorrow night. So let's just conclude. Vajrasattva is delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. We can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I have created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just do our chanting the names of Manjushri. Do you have that up? Somehow I've lost it. Well, let's go to your screen. Okay. Oh, there we are. The Buddha, endless and beginningless, the Buddha at the start, devoid of sequence, with wisdom as his only eye, unstained, Tathagata with wisdom as his body. The sovereign of all language, great debater, the king of discourse, best of orators, the best and greatest of communicators, the unassailable, the lion of speech, with universal vision, true delight, with fire garlands handsome to behold, the endless knot, most radiant, great luster, with shining rays in hand providing light. Okay, so let's just dedicate all the merit and hope for a long life of, or dedicate for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and for all of your own individual teachers. And maybe there's individuals in your life who might need a little bit of help as well, so think about them. All right, everyone. Lots of love. Thank you so very much. And I will see some of you tomorrow morning for our meditation.